Hey, hi. Whew, hi there. I'm just getting back off the road. Sorry to take so long coming on today. I know we're scheduled for 2:30 and it's at 5:08. But Linda Kay Gifford, I am a sexual assault survivor, survivor of grooming and years of childhood sexual assault. I also own feelgoodfairtrade.com. We just passed our fourth anniversary online selling products for women artists and entrepreneurs all over the world. And I buy them outright, warehouse them in Florida so I can ship them anywhere in the United States 2 to 5 days. We're like Amazon, only for fair trade. So please do buy that. Um, Needless to say, I'm involved in women's issues and I have founded the Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund. And I started these live streams to promote and push that, and I've really begun working with people. And now 3 different universities have asked me to use my coming book excerpts as teaching materials. And I've got a trigger guide coming out soon. I just, it's kind of overwhelming, all of this. So thank you for helping me make a difference in the world. Thank you for that. Today we are on our Thursday lesson. We've been working our way through the SPADES Trigger Management Guide. SPADES is an acronym that I came up with, trying to find an acronym that made any kind of sense at all with my lessons. And basically, I've broken down what I do that enables me to live a very happy, joyous life. Running a business, running a charity with wonderful children who actually like me and are succeeding in the world, and a partner that's fantastic. And, it took me a long time to get here: 3 marriages, 3 divorces, hiding what happened to me, um, breaking down when it did come out, removing myself from society rather than face people. I was a musician and I actually quit playing for a while rather than face people that now knew that I had been sexually assaulted. And we're not calling it abuse anymore, it's assault, okay? Sexual assault is no minor deal. And everyone wants us to forget about it, not talk about it, repress it, especially as it probably involves a family member or a near family member or whatever. And it's like, that's what we've been doing our whole lives. And it it doesn't work. We stuff it inside, and like any kind of PTSD, complex PTSD, which is what the C stands for if you're new here, um, complex see complex PTSD is every bit as traumatic as PTSD. And I don't want to compare people's experiences, but it has been said that perhaps it is a stronger, more damaging experience, more all enveloping experience, because you become immersed in a past experience. Now, that's what PTSD is. And for those of you who are just support people who don't actually have it, PTSD, I reiterate, is like the the traumatic experience happened in such a way that it has been set into your body memory, but not the amygdala. It's not like rocking chronological sequence order. Reason hasn't been understood and just kind of dealt with. Um, for people who were traumatized in childhood, whether it was, you know, like me, where it was repeated assault, rape, and assault, or whether it was neglect, emotional neglect, food insecurity, those with survivor guilt. These are the kind of people that I keep finding that we have similar ways of experiencing the world. And so I decided to start sharing the way that I deal with my experiences of the world. And people are telling me it's helping. So thank you, friends. I really appreciate it. You're helping me write my book. And I'm putting all that education to use finally. But anyway, today's lesson is about, and this is tricky. I get death threats. I get death threats over the don't let your dad pick your husband. And yeah, I sensationalize it in my titles with your vagina, but that's because I want you to get it. This is a personal body thing. This is your life. This is your experience as a human being. Falling in love, deciding who you want to have that experience with, who it feels to you like would be a good person to procreate with, if that's your bag or not, if it's not, whatever. You should be able to do you, whoever you are. And in most cultures, as patriarchy has dominated for millennia, most cultures have taken the experience of God and, like, okay, we know everybody loves good love and goodness and kindness and that stuff, so let's throw some power trippy stuff in there to seal the deal. And that's the cultural side. That's your cultural um, part that says that you must be submissive to your husband, or that you have a secondary place, or that you inherit less. Um, uh, if you, whatever, I'm citing from different religions here, but if you're in one of them, you know what I'm talking about. Um, for those who don't know, Judaism leads into Christianity, leads into Islam. All of those books are recognized by everybody thereafter as being true and valid. Islam, a lot of Christians don't realize that Islam thinks that the Bible is a holy book and believes in Jesus and Mary and all that crap too. Jesus was a great guy, don't get me wrong. You do you what you want with your religion. I'm not here to tell you otherwise. All I'm here to tell you is that if a part of your religion says you are lesser, or anyone else is lesser than someone else just because of who you were born as, because you do not have a penis, but rather a vagina, because you long to kiss the lips of a boy and you are a boy, or a girl and you are a girl, or whatever. These things, if they're not accepted by your religion, then there's a cultural injection into the God part in your religion. And him, that's so important to separate. It's so important to find the place, the thing that you experience as God. And instead of thinking of God as something outside you have to please, think of God as a tool that you can grasp and use. Um, when I take communion, I am not eating the blood and body of Christ. So maybe they should kick me out if that's a problem. But I do find symbolic meaning in it. And here's my symbolic meaning: I bake of the bread of all goodness, kindness, mercy, love, hope, desire, everything that feels good in this world. That is the bread. That is the bread. I make my bread out of that. So when I take communion, I am thanking the universe for creating me of stardust, for me existing against all odds. We're all miracles. Nobody should doubt that they are miraculous right from the start and that we are children of God. Just remember that God is a description we give to feelings we have. And religion then it combines that, which is the good part, which is what sucks us in because we love that feeling. But then it throws all these rules and crap in that are really cultural constructs, and cultural constructs that lesser lessen someone compared to someone else. They can't be right. Your common sense, your experience of the God force in the world, whatever it is, has to tell you that is not okay. If somebody else, just because of who they love, who they want to touch or kiss, who they want to marry, or not, if those kind of things, for some reason, if you've got that in your head that those are rights and wrongs and your religion says so, then really that's the point when I encourage you to please get into your religious texts and read scholarly other works about them, and realize how your religious text fits into historical context, and that everyone's experience of God, at least in the monotheistic faiths, seems to include um, goodness and kindness. I'm going to bring in other, not just monotheistic. I'm going to bring in Greek Orthodox and Buddhism and Hindi, and basically whatever your experience of God is, your religion has adopted that and put cultural stuff in there to keep you in line. Keep your experience of God. And the way to do that is just use your heart and your gut. This is the easiest one of all, because I haven't met anyone that, even when they try to argue, oh, my religion says this, whatever, it's like, what does your gut say? You know, have a meet a gay couple. What does your gut say about these people you ask afterwards? It's like, they're beautiful, wonderful, loving, kind. So what's the problem? A book says so. Books are written by people, most of them men. They are constructs. So we're going to throw away the construct and we're going to keep God. God is good. God is great. My God is so powerful and important to me. And my God, as I said before, is the same God that everybody has, because we all agree that God encompasses some form of goodness and love and mercy. Some people throw in justice and punishment, all that, but I don't buy that, because if there's a God that would kill children, that would have a plan for me that includes my death date, I no. But you know what? If you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's what it's all about. You can do you. Just make sure that when you're voting, or when you're treating other people and thinking about their human rights and their existence as a human being, validating them as a human. Remember, um, I'll end with a Facebook meme I saw. Um, One of the first things you need to know is that I'm not you. After that, everything will make a whole lot more sense. Well, let everyone have their own experience. As long as they're not hurting anybody, who cares what they're dealing with, what's in their pants, really? I don't understand that at all. I just don't. Um, so society has spent so much time refining, rolling rules onto the God experience and calling it religion, that it's tricky. It's tricky. It's hard for some people to separate because they're so afraid of going to hell, or, I don't believe in those constructs again. But I do know the God force is real. That I do know. And on that God note, I do endorse ACE. They're not endorsing me yet, but maybe if I do this stuff, because I just found it so good. Perry Craft Cider. This is pear cider, gluten free, no added sugar. So good. Mm. Anyway, culture and religion are intrinsically intertwined. And when we study them, we must study them together. But when we experience them, when we experience our life, and when we make choices about what we're going to do with our own bodies, then we have to go, whoa, this is my life. Am I going to make my father happy and let him pick the man I am going to have sex with and have children with? And I have no idea if I'm going to be fulfilled or not. I'm voting no. My vote is no. You do you, but I recommend you give it some good hard thought before you let your family or your religion tell you how to experience your sexuality and your joy, because sex should be joyful, and it is joyful. Orgasms are the most amazing thing in the world, and to think that 70 to 80% of women don't have them That's shocking. I can't believe it. I'm a sexual assault victim. I spent years and years in therapy and working on it and whatever. And I'll tell you what, when you find this, when you open this door to your own sexual experience, to instead of trying to make somebody else happy and wondering if they are, to like, I will be pleased, your life will change. This just happened for me. I've been married and divorced 3 times. I haven't had a fantastic sex life for my whole life. I couldn't have a fantastic sex life until I changed the way I was looking at the world. And this is what we work on. And next week, we're going to get deep into, no pun intended, sex, its importance, into your physical pleasure's importance, why we stuff it all down and tend to attract narcissistic types of people and selfish people and people who need to be needed but don't really love fully. We have problems in this area and it's totally natural, understood. There are volumes and volumes written about it and dissertations. I'm going to break through all that shit and give it to you in one lesson next week. But we'll talk a whole lot about that on Sunday in Sunday school. Sunday school at 2 o'clock in a perfect world on Sunday. Um, so I think that's. Let me look at my notes. I actually do write notes. I just don't really look at them more. Mhm. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. We're going to talk also next week more about, especially on Sunday school, about how specifically cultures keep women submissive and others non-existent, and how that flipping that one thing, that one tipping point, if we can tip that point to where women and others of any sort are also valid in society, all good things will fall into place. That's it. So we have to fix. Last Sunday school, I talked about my theory, my theory of how our entire society in America has disassociated. We have dissociative disorder, also called dissociative disorder, but I prefer the term dissociative disorder. If you want to know why I said that in my last lecture on Tuesday, my last lesson. So, spades, the shame is not yours. P, separate the past from the present. A, ask. Don't just take what's given. D, don't wait to feel okay to be okay. Get out there and do it. Do it, do it, do it. If you are actively working, I'm going to touch on D for a minute. If you are actively doing something for somebody else or trying to fix something or save something, then you don't have time to give a damn what anybody thinks about you. I had a big long talk with a person I work with yesterday, and she's just so sweet and kind and hung up on huge anxiety. She takes a lot of medication. Her anxiety is overwhelming as to whether she's okay or not. And I haven't made a breakthrough with her yet as to explain to her it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. But the best way that you could do something to make yourself stop caring what other people think is just be really freaking busy doing something else. Do something for someone else. My business, it's my business, it's my livelihood, but I know I'm supporting women artisans worldwide, and we're hardly selling anything right now. I'll tell you the truth. I need you guys to buy feelgoodfairtrade.com. I have a kick-ass store. We've been in business for 4 years. We deliver in 2 to 5 days. I have a whole shopping platform opening up, and I'm looking for people who want to be owners. I'll give you a percentage of the company and run the back end for you. So lots of opportunities going on at feelgoodfairtrade.com and Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund. Please start a charity subscription. You can do that at sweetsurvivor.com, which is it's directed to feelgoodfairtrade.com. They go to the same place. And right up top, you can subscribe for $5 a month. You know, I subscribe to all kinds of places. I subscribe to my own charity, of course. You can go up to $100 a month, or a quarter or a year. You have choices. But $5, can you spare that so that we can get people in human trafficking, sexual assault, nightmarish situations a freaking ticket home? That's all. Please go support them. I'd appreciate it. And I'm Linda Kay Gifford, like I said before, survivor, coach, author, store owner. Life is really good, but there's a method to make it that way. So we'll talk more about that on Sunday school and next week, Tuesday and Thursday.